Hi, everybody. I am Dr. LaKisha, the host of Talks with LaKisha, and today I'm going to bring you something different. My guest is Bobby Tre. We're going to talk about being single because both of us are single, and we really want to know if you're out there being single. So, Bobby Tre, why do they call you Bobby Tre?
What's up? Before I even answer that question, doctor, why they call you doctor? Because I think I know why. Not because you just got a PhD, but because you help a lot of people.
I do. I do. I
Yeah,
do. I do.
I see it personally. So I just
Well,
want to say, thank you for your greatness. Thank you for your service.
look at
So
you.
yeah. So why they call me Bobby Trey? Well, if you know my face, right, you may know me as Bobby, and Bobby's like my business name.
Hmm.
uh, aka government, and then Trey is family friend. So that way, now that I'm shooting these little videos out here and getting pulled in, Bobby Trey is gonna be the name I use because some people will be like, "That ain't Bobby, that's Trey," or that ain't Trey, that's Bobby."
Bobby
So
Tre. So, what do you
Bobby,
do, Mr. Bobby Tre?
woo, wow. Like you, I love helping people. So my forte is technology strategy marketing. Like I built T-Mobile's testing infrastructure, so I have a high level of IT, and I just love helping people using the skills and talents and gift that God has given me. So,
Absolutely. And now, if you guys don't know, I know some of you guys know him. He's kind of, I don't know, he likes to be in the, behind the scenes, but he's a beast when it comes to, okay? And he loves helping people. So I know today I said our segment is being single, right? I know you and I have conversations all the time about being single. Why are you single? You
mm,
prefer to be single? Is it a choice? It just
mm.
kind of happened that way.
Why am I single? Obviously, it's by choice.
Obviously,
It's by,
yes.
it's by choice, not arrogant, not ego. Just obviously, it's by choice. Especially with all these busters out there, I'm like a cream of the crop. When somebody meets somebody like who can talk, have a regular conversation, they trying to sleep with you, right?
That's from the
So
back, right? Because
yeah,
the appearance is everything, right? That's the first thing that we see. So of course, the eyes, the appearance. Because when I
yeah,
first saw
yeah.
you, appearance, of
Hmm.
course. And then when you
Hmm.
start talking, like, oh God, this dude can talk. He's a leader. He knows where he's going. He knows his purpose, and also can lead me to greater heights. And I'm sure a lot of women
Hmm.
think the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. So me, I'm single now is because by choice. I'm focusing on the mission that God has given me, right? Which is finishing a few of these projects. Because if I tried to mix it in, and the woman actually who I'm gonna be with, she deserves to be priority. And I'm not in position now to say, okay, you're going to be a higher priority and you deserve all my times, which is what you do. But because
Mhm.
I know that, I don't want to put anybody through that right now. So,
And yeah, I agree with that because we as women, we like attention, and I know your attention is on your work because, like you said, you have things that God has you doing.
hmm. And
Yeah.
stay honest with it though, right? So, like, if you know me, I'm not gonna like lead you on, and I'm gonna be totally upfront and honest about it. I think a lot of single people who are not really ready leading these people who are ready for marriage on and wasting their time, right? So I jumped into the mindset I had to be honest and true to the person and go from there. So I actually tried to date somebody who I felt understood.
Hmm.
Like I was like, okay, I like it. She actually understands. She's like, all right. And so I was mixing it in, and then 2 or 3 months in, all that understanding went out the window. Now
It
we want to travel all the time, and right now I'm not in a position to travel
Mhm.
mentality because when I travel, I'm gonna forget about work because I like playing,
And that's
and
the
then
thing.
right, and so that's the thing. So for me, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there right now who are like, I totally understand, and then you got some others out there, I don't know what you're talking about. You should be able to mix it in, right? So we got two different
Hmm.
mindsets. What about yourself? I know why you should not be single in my mind. God dog it. So why are you single, young lady?
You know what? Like you said, there's some men that are ready, or at least they think they're ready, right? And
Hmm.
then there are some that are not ready. I think I come in contact with the ones that are not ready. Because, they see the outer appearance, right? And then once I
Hmm.
open up my mouth and start speaking what I want, I think that gets intimidating. I know a lot of men are intimidated by a woman that's an entrepreneur, that's a leader, that knows what she wants and that has lived, right? And for me, I just don't want to continue to date, right? A lot of us just continue to date. It doesn't matter how old we are, but I'm not going to tell you guys how old I am, but I am older. And for me at this moment, I want a partner where we can build, cultivate each other, enhance each other, and just, be my greatest self with him. And a lot of men, they are not leaders. And I have to have someone to lead me, a spiritual man. A lot of people get on, podcasts and social media talking about God this and God that. But when you actually really get to know them, they don't know. They're just following the trend, right? They're just following the trend. So I'm just actually waiting for my knight in shining armor. God and I have a intimate relationship and we talk all the time. So I know I still have some growing to do in that department, but listen, he's an on-time God, right? So he's coming. He may be already here. He's just kind of still trying to, what I say, groom me, right? Because I definitely want to be married again. I have been married twice though,
Hmm.
but
So
we live and learn as we get older.
I got a question that most men
Uh-oh.
love to know from a woman's perspective.
What's that?
When a woman says she's looking for a leader, what does that mean to you?
A man is the head of the house like God's the head of the church, right? So when I say a
Mhm.
leader, me being a woman, when I say a man needs to be, well, I prefer a man to be a leader is when if we come to and, if we have a conversation and something comes up, I have to trust him enough to make the right decision when we are disagreeing, right? I have to trust him enough to be vulnerable and transparent with him. I have to trust him enough that he loves me enough to, put me in the thought of what we're discussing. I have to trust him to say, you know what, this is the best decision that we need to make. And, really explain to me why this is the best decision. Because I'm a submissive woman. I like being submissive. It's kind of a turn on to me, right? But it's hard to be a submissive woman to a man that does not know how to lead, what he wants. He's still a grown man he's a grown man in appearance, but he still has that little boy mindset. And it always
Hmm.
starts in the household because a lot of us, like you or like me, or just people that's watching, grew up in a single parent household. I'm not sure if you did, but a lot of us grew up in a single parent household with our mothers, and a lot of men don't have father figures. It could be their father, could be their uncle, or just like someone that always comes around. But a man needs a man to become a man, if that makes sense. And that's just in my perspective. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. So when we hear stuff like, hey, I'm looking for a leader, that could be a lot of things. And then what we see as a man when we start leading, the woman don't want to be as submissive as they say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now we're leading in a direction she doesn't agree, and she want to be, raising her voice, showing her attitude, sleeping on the couch, et cetera, right? So that submissive piece is
Mm-hmm.
a two-way street too. It's not just on the woman's side; it's also on the man's side, right?
Agreed. Mm-hmm.
So, but it's also submissive in the correct order, is where I believe, right? Where the man should
Absolutely.
submit, you know, to the wife, the wife submit to the husband, but everybody submits to God.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So for me, man, listen, it's a lot of wonderful women out there, right? And you could be gorgeous, you could be saved, sanctified, got all the money, but be missing the key ingredient necessary for that really hits me,
What's the
right?
key ingredient for
And
you? Inquiring minds
it's a
want to know.
combination of everything. Like it's everything. It's the personality, it's the
Mm-hmm.
willingness to be imperfect and accept my imperfections, knowing I'm headed to be perfect for you.
I
Like
love it.
that part there, a lot of people don't gravitate to understanding that's the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is when the work actually starts, people bail out. They don't want to endure the work. So like, and the problem I think too, a lot of people get married, but they never really was single. They were
Elaborate on that. I like
they
that.
were just by themselves.
Hmm.
Out. So to be single is whole. If you by
Hmm.
yourself, if you by yourself, you may be three-fourths. You see, so I really believe like a lot of people think, oh man, if I get together with this person, that person get together with me, we're gonna be great. The process of think about it. A lot of people know two should become one, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Think about the oxymoron of two becoming one. In other words, it's two becoming single.
Mm.
So if you come in one and a half, you would never get single.
This is true.
You
This is,
see, so that single process is key. And
hmm.
so you got to be able to be content, right, with being single and be in that process of being content, I really believe will lead to being whole. Now you'll be more valuable to the next person because now you're not looking for them to compensate anything because you're whole.
Hmm. I
You
like
see,
that.
so yeah, so I just know relationships is work, and we're not taught that, right?
This
You
is
know,
true.
what kind of show can I say some words like, body parts on this show? I don't know. I don't know.
I
We
mean,
we
you can
almost
say, you can, wait a minute. Some of some body parts, like,
like I'm like the all right, I'm gonna say it in this way. Man has a body part that God made for the female's body part to interact.
yes, we can
Right?
talk about sex.
All right,
Listen,
cool.
we're like, this is 2026. Listen, sex is everywhere.
Yeah, so sex is the greatest, one of the greatest things ever that God has made.
Absolutely. The connection, the
Yeah, like if we
emotions.
slow it, yeah, if we slow it down, God made the whole sexual thing.
Yes.
So it's not bad. It never will be bad. The
But
problem
people
is,
do use it in a bad way, though.
yeah, that's where the problem lies. We use
Hmm.
the sex out of order.
Yes.
So sex is great, but
Yes.
you should do it in order.
What's the order?
And the order I stand on is you get married, then the sex. A
Hmm.
lot of people want to do is they want to be like, yo, I need to test the water. I need to make sure she's willing to do A, B, C, D. And then the woman's over there, I need to make sure that he can hang with me.
Listen, you know what? This is really strange. I'm putting on my hand and doing all this, and the hand comes up. There must be something new that's going on. That's kind of that's interesting. Wow,
Hmm.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. When I was younger, you have to test, and I'm still like that now. But I mean, it's been a minute because it just needs to be. Because again, I think you and I was having a conversation earlier that I'm not just want to be with this man and that man. I want to have my forever partner. Just be with the one person, and we build off of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I am now. But yes, a lot of people do use
Yeah.
it out of order, like you said.
Yeah, let's say the woman, and I go both sides, but we talk the woman. Let's say the woman, she's like the bomb.com. You went out of order, you tested it. She does everything, flip flop, beep bop. Have it when you want it, when you want it, how you want it. And then she has a accident that's hindering that performance.
When you
If
say
you
accident,
never
example, what
like, so
type of accident?
let's say a car accident or something,
Okay, okay.
like
I was
a
thinking something
hazard,
else, but okay, got
right?
it.
So let's say that happened. So if your relationship was predicated on her performing, then the relationship never really existed.
Yes.
Vice versa, the dude. I mean, that joker banging it, you're shaking, you're sweating, you breathe his air, I mean, everything. And then he has a car accident or something. He can't
Mhm.
perform. He has what they call ED now. If it was predicated on his performance, guess what? It's done. So that's why when you actually do it in order, you would start to understand like that is the added value and it's not sex anymore. It's more love in the bedroom.
Absolutely. There's a
Be able to
difference.
connect.
Sex and
Yeah,
love.
to be able to hear the breathing and see the eyes, and that's the one you love, and y'all are physically connecting in and that. And if anything ever happened that stopped that, you would miss that, but you still love that person.
That part right
And so
there, I think a lot of relationships and single people, we're just missing that. Because I know you hear a lot of times, I'm sure you have too. Oh, and I'm referring to Black women, since
mhm.
I'm a Black woman. They say, oh, Black women are domineering. They're not submissive. I know we talked about submissive before, and they just don't know how to be a woman. Because we as Black women, we have become independent, right? Because we know that society is taking the Black man out of the household. And I hear a lot of women say, I don't need a man. What? You don't need a man. Like, my family is not complete without a man in it. I'm just a single mother. And a lot of women don't get it. I don't need a man. Okay, you don't need a man, but I do. But it's like a lot of men think that we're domineering. We don't want to submit, and we just don't know how to be a woman. But that's far from the truth. We've been stuck in a society where, again, they removed the Black man from the home, where we had to step up to be the provider. We have to be this for our families and that for our families, being the mother. Some of them say being the mother and father, but we can never be a father. But just been standing up and being the provider and then still doing everything and still being healthy, still being able to go out and date. But I just don't get where society, where Black men think that we as Black women, we just can't be in. They say, oh, Black women go to white women because they're more submissive, they understand. I get it, but they're not a Black woman, so they don't know exactly what we had to endure being where we are now. So for all you ladies out there that think that you don't need a man, yes, you do, because you're a single parent without a man in your house. That creates a family. What are your thoughts on that, Mr. Bobby Tre?
And it's a lot to unpack with that because I lived in Japan, I lived in Germany. I grew up with a mixed household, been taught principles of the God by my mom. My dad was
Hmm.
teaching me how to be a player since I was had diapers on. So, so I have seen all kinds of things
Hmm.
outside of just blacks. So, um, so for me, when I hear like color conversations, that's really based on a lot of times the propaganda of how media portrays it.
That's why I say
We
society.
usually,
Absolutely.
yeah, so we usually form our opinions based on our personal experience,
Hmm.
right? And then sometimes what's added in is the media's propaganda of instilling how we should think.
Hmm.
I personally don't believe black women are lack of submission because there are millions of black women who do submit.
Hmm.
However, I do know that there's millions of black women who don't,
Hmm.
right? And
Agreed.
so what's happening is the people who are not like today's a good day to actually stand up for the black woman from a man perspective and say, yes, black women have the submissive qualities that God has given,
Hmm.
right? But you won't hear that in the media. All we hear is the ones speaking about the ones who don't,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
so that's why a lot of times you now have a perception. Now you see a nice, attractive black woman, in the back of your mind is, yeah, but she's probably not submissive. She's probably not completely a wife material,
Yeah, the
right?
voice that you hear. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what happens too when a man meets a woman with submissive qualities, a woman doesn't even know this, but when you get with a man and you show the submissive qualities, you stand out.
You hear
You
that, ladies?
stand out. Like that's more attractive than showing your cleavage.
I agree. Now
Like
that's
if you're
another
looking
story
for,
for another day. The way
yeah,
women
like if you're
dress
looking
to
for
get
sex,
attention to try to get a husband, but then they
yeah,
get something else.
if you're looking for sex, then you might attract a buster. If you're looking for a husband, then you need to show that submissive side, right?
Hmm.
Once you tap into the submissive side, you'll start to understand submission side has a lot more control over a man than trying to control him.
You can get
A
just
man,
about anything you want when you submit.
yeah, you can make him become great.
Yes.
You see, by becoming that woman that he needs. You
Hmm.
know, and so I think the standard out there, like uh, I'm not like wealthy like LeBron James right now, right? But I crossed over right to the commas, and uh, and so I hit that area, right? But a woman can't come at me looking for, okay, he hit that area, he got this and that. But you need to bring the qualities that attract me, right? Like you can't come at me with your booty showing because that's not wife material to me.
So
right?
you are wanting to get married then. You said it's not wife material, so that you're looking to get.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm definitely want and will get married if Jesus don't come back before I do. Like we're made. I was made for that, right? I was. However, I'm not in bondage to sex anymore, so I'm content now being single. When
Listen,
I
that is
was in bondage to sex, being single was the hardest thing ever,
listen, all of
right?
us have a story, right? Everyone has a past. Listen, I can attest to that myself. Bondage
Hmm.
years ago. When I say God has delivered me, it's no temptation anymore. And that's how you know you've grown in Christ, right? Because you were in the world
Hmm.
and not of the world. And I just get
Hmm.
excited that I can see who I was versus who I am now. Because I'm a firm believer that we go through different phases of our lives before we become who God really needs us to be. And I'm like, I can really be proud of who I've become, who I am now. But of course, I still have work, but I'm just so proud of who I've become. And just God is still doing a magnificent thing in me because He's not finished with me yet. But yeah,
Yeah.
bondage, very powerful word when it comes to sex. I think a lot of people are dealing with that at this
Hmm.
present
Yeah, that's huge. And this is how it works though. Let's say today I'm not in bondage, but next month I could be. You know why?
time.
It's because of how I eat. What am I partaking in my gates? What am I
Yes.
listening to? Who am I talking to? Like that's the curvature of our future. And
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of times we don't know, and sometimes we'll pick up a movie. I know when I was getting free, right? Got saved, like, all right, I'm gonna do this thing. Now, I was addicted to porno, right? And
Mm.
stopped all of it, right? But then
Wow.
guess what? Nowadays these movies got sexual scenes.
Mm-hmm. A
So
lot of them.
I remember like yesterday, like I used to be like, all right, no more porno, but I need to rewind that one scene, that one scene over and over again.
Over and
And
over
now
again, not once, but multiple times.
multiple times. Why? Because I was
Wow.
fooling myself. I was like, this ain't
Mm.
real. So I could watch this one, right? And now basically I was just feeding myself sex,
Yep.
lust, and next thing you know, my shift in my mindset was working, right? Having a
Mm.
sexual desire is the greatest thing ever. Like I got like the desire like no other, more than I had when I was out there. However, I don't yield to it because of how I've been eating. How I've been eating. Like if the snowflake hit me, I'm like, yeah, boy, this is good. But back in the day, the snowflake hit me. Oh, who I gotta call, who I gotta get up and run up on. Right.
Wow. That control as you get
Mm-hmm.
older, recognizing that. Now, I do hear a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, and I don't know if it's just like what people say is really true, but I do hear that, we inherit, let me use that term, from our parents. I know because we're like half our mother and half our father, but we inherit like different spirits, like the lust spirit, the sex spirit from our parents. Do you agree with that?
One hundred
Inheriting
percent.
spirits from your parents? I do
One
too.
100%. Habits,
Yeah,
spirits, like everything, like the environment we in shapes everything, right? And
absolutely.
so if we don't acknowledge it, then it's going to carry over to our seeds.
Ooh, yes, absolutely.
You
And I
see?
was one of them that I had to acknowledge.
Hmm.
Here we go again with the hand thing. I had to acknowledge myself.
Hmm.
That's okay. I know I picked this up from my father just by growing up and knowing my dad. I picked a certain spirit up from him. But like I say, I inherited it. And I had to recognize this. I do not want to be like that. And I had to
Hmm.
just, because words are really powerful. So when you speak
Hmm.
it, you activate the word, you activate the phrase. So I had to speak over myself that I did not want to carry on that spirit because I was living in that spirit. I was in the world and of the world at that time. And I said, I just can no longer be that person because I don't want that to trickle down to my seed, like you just said, because it does. The transmission is serious.
Hmm. Hmm. And so you can be married now
Hmm.
and have a spirit of lust, not cheating on your wife or husband, but
Hmm.
still be carrying that spirit of lust. So if you haven't even identified, like Dr. James has said, like you're carrying it over and it's never going to get out until you actually handle it and face it. Right.
Hmm.
So these are the things of I call maturity acts. Like to know to do something and still don't do it is a sign of immaturity, right?
Yes, sir.
Once we know it, then we need to have a plan of attack to find a solution, right? Sometimes it's wise
Mhm.
counsel, right? Right. That's why you have marriage counsels. I really believe somebody can make a lot of money with single counseling.
Listen, you and I
Like,
can tag team that thing right there. I'm just saying. Because it's like we both lived and we like know exactly. And then just sitting here having
mhm,
a conversation, some similarities, of course, some differences, but it's like being single is a great thing. Being married is a great thing. It's just where do you really want to be on the spectrum? Are you working on yourself, allowing God to work on you to be a good wife or a good husband? Or just hanging out there saying, oh, I want this and I want that, and not really putting in the work. Because who wants to be
mhm,
another
mhm,
divorced woman or man, single woman or
mhm.
man, you know? So that's very interesting. But yeah, I think we can tag team that, Bobby Tre. The single
I'm
therapy,
down with
single come. Listen,
I'm
I'm just saying.
down with it. I'm down with it. We got look, Dr. and Bobby Tre. Let's
Got the
talk.
nice
Let's
ring to
talk.
it, right?
Yeah, I love
Doctor,
it. I love
listen, we got words of power, right? Affirmation, speaking that over our lives. I think that'd be great. I like
it.
that.
I'm down with it. You set it up because there's a need.
Absolutely. I
Huge,
know.
huge need. Like matter of fact, that's the precursor to marriage. Is to
Hmm.
be fully whole and single.
Hmm. But a lot of people do take baggage from relationships and former relationships, marriage, into their new relationship and marriage, and they wonder why it fails. They didn't do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know for me, when I was
And
younger, when I got out of a relationship, I got right back into another one. Didn't give myself time to heal. Didn't take accountability for anything. Just got right back into one, out of one, into one, out of one, into one. Then it finally hit me like, what are you doing, LaKisha? You're taking baggage, your emotions, your hurt, your brokenness into a future relationship where you know you're not even ready for. And a lot of us as single people, we do that.
like all the time, don't even know it.
Yes. That's what I'm
Like
saying.
like recently, I found out too that because I was talking to God, I was like, reflecting on okay, what areas do I need to be better at? Like when I
Hmm.
do decide to jump in a relationship, and this one area that was revealed to me is the internal mentality to bring something up
Hmm.
when I feel it. So what happened is I will hold on. I used to hold on to it. And the reason why I hold on is like, I'm like, I don't, why would I have to explain this? I feel this way. Why would I have to explain that? She should already know that.
Hmm.
Right.
We're not mind
What I
reader.
learned, what I learned was
Hmm.
the perception of what I was seeing may not match the perception of what she was seeing. So I know when I started bringing things up, I used to be like, man, I should have brought this up immediately
Hmm.
because the response I just got, I wasn't even thinking about.
Yep.
Right. So, like I remember once I was dating this woman and one scenario happened where she said, I'm gonna do this for one of the businesses that I own. And she said, all right, cool. So I'm not the pressure or micromanager type. So I'm definitely not gonna be that in a relationship.
Right.
And now a week go by and it still ain't done. She calls me up from the job. She's taking a lunch break to go meet up with a guy. He has a nonprofit looking to get a building. She's his executive administrator. She does something for him. Forgot what it
Mhm.
was. So driving over there, left her job during her lunch break to meet up with him. And obviously she introduced me while we talking on the phone, blah, 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 blah. I know what I heard? This is what I heard. This is my perception as the man she was dating. Oh, so you had a whole week to do something for me, you still didn't do it. Now you go willing to go help this man.
Ah,
So I
not
immediately
knowing
in
all
my
the
mind,
details.
yes, I shifted. I was like, all right, cool. And she didn't know I shifted that moment, but she obviously you eventually start feeling there's a difference because now your love turns to being nice. That's
Uh-uh.
one of my one of my issues that I know I needed to work on. Like, you know how you can lie? Well, I don't lie. I just go from love to nice. Instead of
Wow.
hey babe, instead of hey babe, good morning.
Wow.
You
That
see,
did shift.
Yeah. So, and then when I eventually brought it up, I think like maybe 5 days later, I felt like an idiot because the conversation that we had 5 days later could have been
Hmm.
had that day
Yep.
and been easy, easy because she was willing because she didn't see that. She didn't see it that way.
Mm.
But after I explained it to her, she saw it like, yeah, that really was not right. Right.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so, and so I was wrong for not bringing it up. And it's like she
Mm.
wasn't wrong at all. I was the one wrong for not bringing it up. I think a lot of times in a relationship, we don't look intro, we look outer,
Yep.
extro.
Hmm.
So, so if you can master that as you being single, reflect back on like all the areas. If you ever dated, been with somebody, reflect back like what area can you improve? What area did you not master? What area did you fail in the relationship?
Hmm.
Then you start to address it head on so you don't carry it to the next, right? And
Yeah.
so you actually hit a point, and I think you and I talk a lot when I say this is that I ain't never been in a relationship. My old me has, but this guy that's talking right now has never been in a relationship. He's
He
a
stays
virgin.
with me.
Why? Because I'm a new creature. I'm new. I'm
Listen,
totally new every area.
not your homie. Oh goodness. But see, this is
Uh,
great though, because of course we learn and we grow as we get older. At least we're supposed to anyway. Now I do see a lot of older people that still think young. Like I said, a
mm,
grown man and a little boy, grown man and a grown man body with the little boy mindset. But it goes to show that as we get older, we're supposed to get more wiser and understand what we did when we were younger. We can no longer do that as an adults.
mm-hmm. Like
Mm,
we're born as a gender,
hmm.
right? We're born as a female or male. There's no change in that. I don't care what kind of surgery you get.
None of that.
However,
That part.
however, you're taught and you're taught how to be a woman. You're taught how to be a man.
Hmm.
You're not a man because you're a male, and you're not a woman because you are a female, right?
Hmm.
So you're so now if you start to analyze that statement, you start to be like, do I really know how to be a male? Like, do I really know how to be a female? What framed my thought process?
Hmm.
Am I operating out of hurt and protection by saying I don't need a man, right? Am I
Right.
operating out of hurt and protection by getting mad at your woman when you really should tell her you've been hurt, right?
Yep.
Like how we framed our thought process is something we also need to start learning. And this is something that you can do when you're married, but it's better to do it when you're single so you
Yes.
don't so you don't add extra work to that spouse,
Yes.
right? If you're married now, you have no choice, but you better put the work in. Like I know a lot of married couples who are happily married, and I know a lot of married couples who have been married for a long time and not happy.
Mm.
The longevity of marriage has nothing to do with the efficiency of it,
Absolutely. I agree with that.
right? And it matches up with your statement about yeah, just because you get older doesn't mean you get better.
Hmm.
You see, so these are the things that if you don't address it when you're single, you're not really becoming a single person. You're just by yourself, right? So if you really want to get in position to find that man that of your dreams or that woman of your dreams, then work on being whole and single and getting in position and fixing the areas that need to be fixed. So when it's time, you'll be completely ready. So
Hmm.
because I have dated when I wasn't ready, they are perfect women, like wife material. But I was not ready. I was not
Wow.
ready. So we as single people need to work on getting in position. If you're not ready, acknowledge it and don't put somebody through something.
That's a lot of that going on. Because
Hmm
when I meet a guy, I like, listen, I'm looking for a husband. I'm just upfront. Like I'm not looking to just talk. I'm looking to just date. Of course, that's the first stage anyway. But I think your goal should be talked about, discussed in the beginning to see exactly is this something or someone that you can invest in and that can invest in you. If they're not on that same level, why even start it? It's a waste of time. So I agree with that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So that's where I
And
am.
time is the most valuable thing that you have.
Yes. Because you can't get it back.
You can't get it. You can't get it back. Like you can't. This is why people stay broke because they don't value time. They get miserable in relationships. They don't value time, right? You already see the signs. Why are you
Mhm.
staying with him or her? Cut it off.
Cut it off.
Like you
And
time.
yeah, and sometimes that's the hardest thing when you grow that attachment and that connection. That's kind of the
Hmm.
hardest thing, but you really have to get in a space and say, you know what, you gotta the pros and cons, like where is this going? You don't want to be stuck or stagnant for the next 3, 4 months, a year, you know? If it's going
Hmm.
somewhere, great, but if it's not, you got to get out of it. I'm guilty of that as well, staying in a relationship where I knew it wasn't working. I knew he wasn't for me.
Yeah, like I'd rather be 5 years single than 5 minutes in anguish.
Yeah, that's good. How long you been single?
Woo. Uh,
Listen, that
that's a
door was
good,
open. I had to ask the question.
that's a good question. I'm thinking. I'm backtracking, dating. Maybe a
It's been
year.
that
Like we
long.
say dating wise, yeah, a year.
Yeah.
Maybe a year. Yeah,
Okay, it's not too long.
that was the one that I learned that I wasn't ready.
Okay.
I thought she was ready because she was ready to understand me.
Hmm.
She had an agenda that we're gonna get married.
Listen, we always have a plan. We just got to get you guys to get on board with it. So she needs you to get
Yeah,
on board. And when you get on board, you had to make a decision. Okay, this is not what I'm ready for. I'm not ready for this right now.
yeah. Like I didn't mind the marriage thing, but not like in 2, 3, 4 months.
She's trying to get it done.
Oh, like I thought. This is how it worked, and I hope I ain't gonna say names, but she knows if she watches this video. So we like great conversation. Never seen her, never met her. We got connected through a mutual contact.
Wait a minute.
Uh,
Never seen her?
Never seen her at the time. We were just talking and talking on the phone because it's the greatest way to actually understand somebody without being influenced by how they look, right, or what they have, right. So
Hmm.
great conversations. We flowed. She sent me some videos, you know, and then I didn't know, I know I didn't really understand filters like I do now, right? But sent me videos and I was pleasantly pleased with the videos, right?
The filter videos or the real videos?
I didn't know they were filtered, so I was pleasantly pleased. Okay, all right, look at it. All right, look, he said, la 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 la. La. All right, good. All right, so uh, I and I was happy because I actually liked her a lot from the
Hmm.
call. So the looks was just all right, cool. I like that. I like that.
Everything
But
lined up.
it wasn't the looks that made it work, but it was just like, okay, I like that. It was the personality and the conversation that for me, I was like, all right, that's what I like. But if the looks didn't match up either, I probably would have backed out. But
See,
uh,
that
but
appearance.
it wasn't high on the list, but it was definitely on the list. So anyway, I talked to a couple of my people I know, one male, one female. We all was on a group conference call, and then I showed them the video, da da da, and then they immediately was like, "Why is she shooting with a filter?" Both of them. I was like, "What y'all talk about?" So I got her on the call, and then they even brought it up. And then she was like, only reason I do, because I was like, she'll tell you why. I don't know why. She'll tell you why. And then she gave her a reason. She said, I do videos without filters, da da da. Anyway, long story short, when I finally met her, went to her condo in Buckhead. I mean, she's one of the greatest women ever. Like wife
Hmm.
material, no complaints. So this is not a bad comment on her or anything like that. So went to the condo, and she had a job that she was gonna take in Hawaii, and we had conversations, and she was like, "I'm not taking it because I want to be with you."
Oh,
So
that's
first
a happy.
time, yeah. So I felt pressure, and I felt pressure I felt pressure,
Way to
like we
start.
got like that's like jumping to like the end phase or something.
I mean,
Like
clearly it was something about you that made her feel that way. You know, you guys
I
have that
understand that.
thing of making a woman feel like that early in the
Yeah,
relationship, just being
I
who you are.
understand that. That Hawaii job was like 200, $300,000.
And
So in
she
my
was trying to
mind,
sing it
I'm
with
like,
you.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. See how you changed it up? see,
Wait a
see,
minute now.
you went from to a well, yeah, she like you. Then you looked at you heard the amount. Oh, well, I don't know if you worth $200,000, $300,000 a year now. I go find somebody else. So
Wait.
yeah. So for me, I was, obviously I liked her a lot, but I wasn't jumping to the end like that fast.
Absolutely, of course.
I was willing. I was even at the time. I was like, we can make it work. We can make it, because this is like a commitment now. Like,
Hmm.
you know, and then eventually worked through little humps mentally on my side, a lot of me side, because she was completely ready. And then, I'm honest along the journey, which is something she really loved. She loved anything. I like this is what I'm talking about. She got too. All
I love
right.
it.
So now she understood that hey, I'm not ready to get married or anything. She had this conversation. She said, I'm not ready to I know you're not ready to get married, and I know we're eventually gonna get married. And here's my ring size. So I was like, okay, I like the fact that I can buy a ring, and she knows that don't mean we get married anytime soon. So I went ahead and bought the ring. So I did it. And I ain't buy like a crazy ring like I done in the past. I bought like a nice ring. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't 5, 6 digits ring like I done. So
Well, I want a
bought the
five or six
ring.
digit ring. I'm just saying. So,
I understand. I know what you want. I know what you need. So I got ah so and then so got the ring, boom, boom, boom. And I tried to hide it and I tried to get to her condo because she flew out of town and hide it
mhm.
somewhere so you can find it. I wasn't trying to do the get on your knees and give it to her type of thing, right? It was more like she understands. All right, cool. So anyway, after she got the ring, 2 days later, she wanted to start marriage counseling. I was like, oh heck no. So long story short, I pushed that thing back, I think a month or two.
Mhm.
And during the counseling session, the counselor, the guy was smooth because I'm honest. It was like, man, it sound like you ain't getting married. It sound like you playing marriage. All right. And I said, well, it sound like whatever. I said, I'm not here to get married. I'm just here to get more knowledge and wisdom.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, I was not ready to get to the level where she was. And I
Hmm.
thought she was understanding my lack of readiness, and she really wasn't.
Mm.
So that's where we conflicted, and then I drifted off, you know, eventually, and to this day, she is probably one of the best women I've ever been with. I
Well,
can't even lie,
kudos to
like
you. Kudos to
have
her. I
never
love
been.
it.
Yeah, like she's her disagreements last 7.3 seconds.
You counted
Like
those?
yeah, like I counted one time. It was like 6 seconds on one of them. See, like, and it's not verbal either. It's like body language, and then she just moves on like it ain't nothing. Like
That's how it's
most
supposed to be.
most
Submissive.
women, shoot, most women nowadays, look, they like, look, you're gonna get this lip lashing, or we're gonna do this talking, and I love talking, but then when you talk
Yeah,
to
you
somebody
do.
when you talk to somebody who can communicate back, you better be right. Don't be bringing no lack of logic with
Mm.
because then I remember one time I had a disagreement and it was the first one, and I said, "Hey, hold up, pause. Let's celebrate. This is our first disagreement, man." She didn't like that. She thought
See, you want to piss people off.
I don't like arguing, so it's like I just like to enjoy the moment regardless.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ah,
That's
yeah.
great. Well, you know what? You know, we've been talking for a minute. We're gonna have to have a part two of this. You do know this, right? Because we can continue on and on and on and on.
Hmm.
But thank you for your time, though. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, I had a good time. I had a good time opening up, being transparent to the world. Yes, yes.
Well,
So
you know.
if you're single and you're looking for a relationship, then you already know what to do now. You know you need to start working on your wholeness. And if you're single and not looking for a relationship, what you need to do is stop leading people on who are. So if I had to leave anything to the audience, those are the two things I would say.
And I was just about to ask you that question. Well, there you go. There you go. Thank you again, Bobby Tre, for your time. I know you're busy doing things in the IT world. But again, until next time, I am your host, Dr. LaKisha James of Possible LaKisha, where we have real conversations and real information. Bye.